Have you discovered Rockland County? It's the Hudson River Valley's best-kept secret, where you'll find beautiful river towns. Whether it's the charm of Piermont, the art and soul of Nyack, the history of Stony Point, or the allure of Havistraw, you'll find them all in Rockland County. Start discovering the Rockland River Towns. Visit rocklandrivertowns.org to plan your trip today.
It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com.
Good evening and welcome to Sunset on the Hudson. I'm Richard Quinn.
I'm Jennifer Santella.
And tonight's sunset time was at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some guests coming up tonight. Our guest is Sonia Cairo from the Keep Rockland Beautiful organization here in Rockland. And we have topics.
We do have some topics. Our conspiracy theory topic today, we're going to be addressing Hollow Earth. What is the conspiracy theory with Hollow Earth? What do people think's going on within the center of the Earth? Is there a center of the Earth, or is it just hollow? So we're going to see what we can cover regarding that topic. And we got some news when we come back too.
We have some news. Couple of news things that are going on. Okay, so it's dark. And we hope you're watching this live. So be careful, we'll be right back.
Ancient symbols carved into stone at an archaeological site in Turkey tell the story of a devastating comet impact that triggered a mini ice age more than 13,000 years ago. Evidence from the carving made on a pillar known as the Vulture Stone suggests that a swarm of comet fragments hit the Earth in around 11,000 BC. One image of a headless man is thought to symbolize human disaster and extensive loss of life. The devastating event, which wiped out creatures such as the woolly mammoth, also helped spark the rise of civilization. Scientists have speculated for decades that a comet could have caused the sharp drop in temperature during a period known as the Younger Dryas. The Younger Dryas is seen as a crucial period in human history as it coincides with the beginnings of agriculture and the first Neolithic civilization. Scientists were analyzing the mysterious symbols carved onto stone pillars at Göbekli Tepe in southern Turkey to find out if it could be linked to the constellations. Engineers from the University of Edinburgh studied animal carvings made on a pillar known as the Vulture Stone at the site. By interpreting the animals as astronomical symbols and using computer software to match their position to patterns of stars, researchers dated the event to 10,950 BC.
And we're back. And this segment we'd like to discuss a headline. I like to pick a headline, at least one from the newspapers. And besides the fact that the president has fired FBI Director James Comey, you can hear about that on many other stations. We're going to tell you about Follow the Bunny. This poor mega rabbit, which was transported via United Airlines before his death. Simon, a year-old continental giant rabbit from Britain, was found dead last month after a flight from London to Chicago. The 3-foot, 16-pound critter, who many believed would have surpassed his father, 4'4" Darius, as the world's largest rabbit, was bought was bought. It was bought by a group of Iowa businessmen who hoped to enter Simon in the Iowa State Fair's biggest rabbit competition. Of course, it would be the biggest, considering he is the biggest bunny. But unfortunately, Simon was seen moving in his cage a half hour after landing. But in the Des Moines Register, the freezer claim is completely false, and that Simon was kept in a 70-degree kennel, not in a freezer. They're going to do a autopsy, I suppose, and find out what really happened to him. But here's another public relations nightmare for United Airlines. So whether you're a human or a bunny, I would say avoid United Airlines.
That seems to be the moral of the story these days.
Yeah. Well, how many bunnies are actually taking flights? Not many. No. Probably one of the only bunny accidents on the airlines, although you can let us know if there have been other bunnies that have departed after they departed the airport. You have something interesting that dates back, something historic has hit the news.
Yes, in southern Turkey, in an area called Göbekli Tepe, which actually was an observatory for meteors and comets, they found an ancient stone which appears to have some sort of primitive writing style in it. So there are animals depicted which they're finding correspond to astronomical combinations and things like that. And constellations. So on the tablet, they show a swarm of comet fragments pretty much as they hit the Earth, and then there's also a headless man, which they're figuring symbolizes like death and destruction and the end of man or human disaster and things like that. So from this, they're figuring that there was a comet impact that struck the Earth around 10950 BC. Which brought on like an ice age that was referred to as the Younger Dryas. So that was a global cooling period that drove people to figure out ways to cultivate crops, because they used to just be able to go out and walk around and take what they needed, but because the weather changed, they needed to know how to raise livestock and keep, grains and foods that they needed, and, learn how to cultivate them so they could save up for them. But the thing about this is there hasn't been any comet impact site seen. So this is kind of just hypothetical. This is a theory.
When did they find it?
This was something that was in the paper pretty much in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. So they really haven't had a lot of time to decipher the hieroglyphics, perhaps?
Yeah, they could be jumping the gun. A little bit. It seems like you're kind of leaning towards that way, as far as that there's still room for interpretation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that a bunch of humans are going to be decapitated or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
These were a bunch of researchers from the University of Edinburgh. Those are the people that conducted this study on this stone.
Did the country, anyone in Turkey, have a story about this? Is it in some sort of folklore?
Well, the things that line up with the Ice Age idea are actually from an ice core in Greenland. So in Greenland, they took an ice core, and they're saying, based on what they were able to find out about that time period, that it coincides with what this tablet might be describing. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
I see. Very interesting. We'll have to look that up. And what is the actual name of it?
It's called the Vulture Stone.
The Vulture Stone in Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, southern Turkey. And the Tepe is a mountain range, I think.
That would make sense, yeah.
The Tepes.
Certainly sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. I'm going to look that up.
I'm sure things will unfold as time goes
decipher.
on.
Maybe I can help them decipher what it says.
I'm sure they could appreciate your help.
I'm sure they will. And don't forget, don't send your bunny on United Airlines. Let them hop there some other way.
So I think we're going to take a break now. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to Sonia Cairo about her role in Keep Rockin' Beautiful.
The Great American Cleanup is right around the corner. Every year, people join together in this event to help their environment and their community by cleaning up litter and trash. Anyone can participate, and you can do it right here in Rockland County. Help clean up our hometown and preserve the beautiful scenery of New York's Hudson Valley. You can help make your community a better, cleaner place to live. For more information on the Great American Cleanup and how you can join, go to www.keeprocklandbeautiful.org. Remember, anyone can do their part to help their community.
This Mother's Day, celebrate Mom and Mother Earth. Join with friends and family at Rockland Lake to create the longest chain of people in a yoga tree pose. The event will raise awareness and funds for Keep Rockland Beautiful to provide vital cleanup and educational programs. Register with an entire team and be seen on the drone footage. Head over at 3 p.m. and enjoy a walk afterwards around the lake. To register, go to keeprocklandbeautiful.org. See you on May 14th.
We're back and we're talking with Sonia Cairo from Keep Rockland Beautiful. She is the executive director. Sonia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we want to find all about Keep Rockland Beautiful. Tell us what it's like to be a volunteer and how you got involved with it.
Well, there are many ways to volunteer with Keep Rockland Beautiful, and we are in the middle of our spring campaign, our spring cleanup campaign. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year, so we've been around for about 20 years, and we've been doing the Great American Cleanup for almost that long. It is a program that was originated with the Keep America Beautiful, which is a national organization.
That's right.
We're one of about 300 or so affiliates across the country. You may know Keep America Beautiful from one of its original PSAs, and that's the Crying Indian.
Yes, the Native American.
Yes. The Native American who wasn't, but he had a very close affiliation, and the message resonated with people, and people still remember that PSA very fondly. So we started off originally as a beautification committee 20 years ago, quickly became an affiliate and started the Great American Cleanup in Rockland County. Now we have about, every spring, it's April through May, about 3,000 volunteers of all ages that get out and spend a couple of hours removing litter and debris from our streets and our parks and our waterways. And in the process, it's actually a lot more fun than people anticipate, and it's a great feel-good, way to give back just a little of your time, a little of your energy to give back to the community. But it really, that simple action goes a really long way. You're not only making our community look better, you're helping with property values, and you're making it safer for people, and you're also learning while you're out there just what beautiful natural resources we have, and when you're out there in the midst of them, why it's such a crime when they're littered. And we have all of our volunteers separate their bags. We give them black trash bags for trash and clear bags for recyclables. And so that's a moment to emphasize the importance of reducing waste through recycling. And we partner with a number of different agencies and organizations in the county to do this. The highway departments then come by and pick up those bags and send them to the Rockland County Solid Waste Management Authority, which is another strong partner of ours during this campaign. And they get sold and made into other materials, and in the process reducing what goes to landfills and what we have to use, what virgin resources we have to use for other products, and the amount of energy that takes to make them. So people learn about that, they make a visible impact with that, and they also learn something that a lot of people in this county still don't know, and that is those drains on the roadside. A lot of people think that those are sewer entrances. They're not. Those are storm water drains, so they're meant to keep flood waters from going into people's yards or their basements. Whatever runs off whatever water runs off carries with it all the other stuff that's on the street. So that
And into a
includes-
waterway.
And directly into a waterway. So just by cleaning up litter, you're also cleaning up the water.
Yeah. Well, there's been a big push over the last 20 years in Rockland, and does this have, the Adopt a Highway program?
We work closely with the Adopt a Highway programs. We try and help promote it, and we encourage Adopt a Road participants to come out during the Great American Cleanup, encourage them to send their photos like we do with all other volunteers so we can share those with our community. We have a pretty large community, about 5,000 people on our mailing list, and we're almost at 2,000 on our Facebook account.
Yeah.
Like us.
So do you also go into schools and recruit
Yes.
and to tell students about this?
So the cleanup is one way to educate our community and inspire stewardship, and then we have two major programs that we do in environmental education. One is for K to 8. It's called EarthBeat. That stands for Basic Environmental Awareness Training, and it's we offer about 25 different hands-on interactive activities that the school can select from, and the kids rotate through these different activities. We tailor it to whatever the school would like, so some events have the entire school in 2 days, some events do it, we just did it at Upper Nyack Elementary School, the entire school in 1 day. It was a phenomenal event, and it happened to be on Friday the 28th, and the sun came out for us. And I don't know if you've seen Upper Nyack's front yard there, but they have a number of beautiful cherry trees and I think crabapple, and they all burst on that day. So it was not only a fun day, but it was also a beautiful day for everybody. And those activities focus on everything from waste reduction to local ecology, and looking at our carrying capacity and our water resources, and garbage relay is a lot of fun.
You cover a lot of territory.
And then the one for high school is called Rockland Plus, and it stands for Planning Land Use with Students.
And I've noticed the first Keep Rockland Beautiful, when I first became aware of it, it was the painted garbage cans.
Yes, our artful receptacles.
Yeah, artful receptacles.
Do you still do those? Or?
We do them. The program right now is on a little bit of a hold while we don't have any empty steel canisters right now, so we're waiting for some of those.
Yeah.
And we also want to make sure that we get some of the ones that off the streets that need to be retired, and then start the program up again and get folks painting.
Wow.
We just heard a spot about something coming up this weekend.
Yes. That is our Tree Pose event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a day, it's Mother's Day, May 14th is a day we celebrate Mother, but it's a day we can also celebrate Mother Earth. And it's an opportunity for families to come out together, moms and their families, to come out after their brunch, work off some of those calories, feel that connection to our earth and to our community. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and create the longest chain of humans standing in a tree pose. So I don't know if you're aware of tree pose in yoga. A lot of the stances in yoga mimic nature. And so tree pose is a fairly easy one where you're standing, if you can, with your core very strong, just like a tree trunk, and your arms like branches held up to the sky, and on one leg. So if your core is really strong and you're well balanced, you can do it on one leg, but you can also just touch your toes to your ankles and you're still in a tree pose.
All right.
So anyone can do it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a drone snap a shot.
Where's the center of this tree?
It's going to be at Rockland Lake.
Rockland Lake.
And it's the
Sunday,
you come into the
May
north parking lot,
14th at Rockland Lake.
Yes. And if you have any questions
2
at all,
o'clock in the afternoon?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And to register, you can go to keeprocklandbeautiful.org. And we have a number of different packages that make it very affordable for groups, and it's a way of supporting Keep Rockland Beautiful and our education programs.
And a drone will get
snap
footage
a shot,
of this.
and you'll live in infamy.
Nice.
Oh, no, that's not. You'll be famous.
Do you have regular meetings, get-togethers, and like plan your
Yeah, well,
projects?
we have a board. We have a
Yeah.
wonderful board.
So how do you choose your projects that you undertake?
Well, we choose them based on their ability to really impact our community and inspire stewardship and help people to learn more about how they can do that and to help them get out and do it. So we do our Earth Beat program every spring, and for any schools that want to do it in the fall, we can do that. Also, we can do that program. Anyone can do that program, whether it's a school or a scout troop or a library or an after-school program. We have not only this fundraiser coming up, but we have another fundraiser coming up in June. That's a way to sort of focus attention on our organization, and also a day to have fun. It's called Charity Challenge, and we were selected last year. It's a program through Active International to help different not-for-profits in the community. So we did it last year, and we've been chosen again to do it this year. Nice. So by buying tickets to this, you get to go see a baseball game at Boulders, and you also support Keep Rockin' Beautiful. You get one packet gets 2 tickets and 40 chances to win a raffle. And last year was about $3,000. And we use that as another opportunity to sort of educate the public. Last year we had Gary, from Gary's Gutters.
Gary's Gutter Service,
yes.
The well-known commercials, of course.
Yes. Well, he's a real, I don't know if you've seen, he has a Facebook page, and he's very supportive of the community and does a number of really wonderful things for the community. So he came out and he donned a bag costume, the Bag Monster costume, which was graciously loaned to us by Rockland County Solid Waste. It's this heavy, giant outfit made of plastic bags. It was an opportunity to talk about the ubiquitous plastic bag and why we should be using reusable bags instead. And as a matter of fact, Keep Rockin' Beautiful has, and I actually don't have it on me, a wonderful reusable bag that Maria Luisa, right here in Nyack,
South Broadway,
partnered with us on, and she supported the production of that bag.
Yeah.
And
well, that plastic bag seems to be the number one on the list of bad elements in the environment.
No need for that particular. I mean, disposables are a real problem. Plastic bags, it's hard to think of a reason why one needs a plastic bag. Sometimes you can make an argument for the benefits of plastics, but not in the case of the plastic bag. I can't think of a reason.
Well, it's an easy fix. Just get your own bag.
Exactly. And I just, it even when you have to pay for them, they're less than $1, but you can get them in so many ways through giveaways. And they actually, when you go into the grocery store, they pack a lot nicer than a plastic bag. They're a lot easier to carry out. You just keep a load of them in your trunk, and you can see, you can see how much you save by the number of plastic bags that accumulate in your closet when you're using them.
And all your plastic, I mean, just to eliminate as much plastic as possible.
Yeah, if we were to just put a little bit of effort into, reusable bottles and reusable silverware and reusable bags, we would be making a very big difference.
Yeah, it's true.
We definitely need to be more aware of our impact on the world, and we definitely need to raise awareness. And it's just unfortunate that when I try to look up Keep Rockland Beautiful, Google thinks I want to go keep up with the Kardashians, So it's like not exactly the right mental track, I would think. But I'm wondering, is there a way that if I see an area that has like a lot of litter, should I call you guys like 1-800-TRASH-BUSTERS, or should I try to take care of it myself, or are the right garbage guys going to come up and take the bags at the end? Can I volunteer a certain spot and say, this part of the road on this highway I've seen, or maybe not highway, but like a street or something that is maybe worse than another?
Or you want to be...
Well, how do we take care of it?
Several ways you can get down and dirty with the trash. You can clean up at any time you like, and Keep Rockland Beautiful is more than happy to help you with supplies. So we can give you trash bags, we can give you clear bags, We have some gloves. We have Sandy wipes, which
Do
are
you get
donated by PDI, by the way. They're wonderful.
Deputized? Do you deputize people?
Well, we can deputize green teams if you want to make a commitment for going out. But if you just want to go out once or twice, just register with us. It's very easy. We just got a brand new website. It's very easy to navigate, beautiful. And you just register. You see a site you want to clean up, register online, and then let us know when you're coming, and we will outfit you with. We have something we call grabbers. They're little litter grabbers, and they're very popular because they reach out and just grab the stuff.
Yeah, like a lazy stick, right?
Exactly. And we have so many really wonderful partners in the community. So another one is New City Bowl. Alice said, yeah, sure, you can put your shed on our parking lot, which was really very generous of her. And so now our shed is right next door. It used to be all the way over at the highway department in Clarksdale, which was lovely of them to let us use it, but a long way away. And so you can come to our shed and pick up your supplies and then report, and we keep track of how many people are out there doing the right thing. And
you'll have a star on your record.
Right. Well, we also, for kids who are looking for community service, we have letters for them. So it's a nice way of doing community service. And if in the spring you don't get out in the spring, we also have a smaller campaign in the fall. We call it the Fall Waterways Campaign because it focuses on the connection between the streets and our waterways. And that's a really lovely time to get out. Once the leaves have died down, you can see the trash again, and it's a nice time of year.
It's a lovely sight. They can't wait to get back in there and get those things up. What do you do about someone throwing paper out or disposing of trash out their car window?
Oh, we have a great program that we worked hard to put in place. We worked with Lou Falco, the sheriff, in putting that into place. It was actually something that Putnam, you know what? I said Pennsylvania. It wasn't Pennsylvania. There's a Keep Putnam Beautiful. And the gentleman in Keep Putnam Beautiful had a program where you can report a litter bug. So we got that put into place. So it's online. You can do it online. And we also have little litter pads. If you see someone littering, you write down who, what, when, where, how, and then you send it to us. We send it to the sheriff, and that person will get a letter in the mail that said, someone noticed, we care, and this is against the law. They can't prosecute them, but they can let them know that
they're under what?
You are on notice.
You're on notice.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times all it takes.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yes. People do think about that because people throw things out their window occasionally. That's how all that litter gets on the side of the road to begin with.
So we're big believers in the broken window theory.
Yes.
So
Tell Richard about that. Tell us.
Well, it's basically, if you're in a neighborhood where there's one broken window,
more broken windows don't
gives
matter.
it gives people the sense that they have license to, break some more, trash the place, because no one cares.
Yeah.
So if the streets are really super clean, they're less likely that people are going to throw stuff out.
Super important.
Yeah.
Super important.
So dirt attracts dirt. Litter attracts litter.
Yes. Trash begets trash.
Yes. Clean it up. That's what I say.
On that note, we want to thank you for joining us tonight
so
and spreading the good word of keeping Rockland beautiful here in the county. It's great, and we hope that you go out there and do your part. Keep your trash to yourself. Deposit it in environmentally friendly paper products, and we'll all be happier for it.
The legend of the mythical world of Argartha seems to be a very old one. The more you learn about it, the stranger it becomes. It seems to have almost no basis in reality, but all legends must have some basis in fact, at least somewhere. There are those that believe in the earth being hollow. Argartha allegedly resides within the hollow earth. According to Alexandra St. Yves of the 1800s in the book Le Roi du Monde, quote, Argartha and all of its wisdom and wealth will be accessible for all of mankind when Christianity lives up to the commandments which were once drafted by Moses and Jesus, unquote. St. Yves describes the city as if it really exists and he really experienced it, but also that the knowledge was given to him through nonverbal paranormal means. Plato even spoke of the mythical world. Very long and narrow tunnels connect the four corners of the earth. Where they connect, Argartha stands, and a magical ruler holds a throne. Another author, this time a Roman one, named Pliny the Elder, whom lived around the time of the year 50 AD, states that the Atlanteans, the ones from Atlantis, fled to the Himalayas when their city sank, and then dug into the earth where they currently reside. This could possibly be where the notion of Argartha comes from. Apparently the Atlanteans are waiting for their day to come back to the earth and rule once again. Do you believe in a hollow earth?
Welcome back to Sunset on the Hudson. And now we're in store for a very interesting theory for those who have, for those who have other alternative thoughts on what's going on with our planet. There's the flat earth theory, and tonight we're going to hear about the hollow earth theory.
Yes, we spent some time with Sonia talking about the outside of the earth. Let's talk about what might be going on inside of the earth. So, as hollow earth theory goes, it's to say that either the earth is hollow or that it contains significant space. There's been a couple different ideas. Some have said that there are two concentric circles of earth that move as the earth spins. So with all of the rocks and stone inside of the earth, over time, they push their way towards the outsides, and they have their own force separate from the force that rules the crust. The crust's force can be pulled by the moon and the planets, so that in a sense can undulate, and that what's going on inside has its own pattern. So as the earth spins, you have all the rocks and stones inside, they move out and they create all these crevices. So the earth is not so much hollow as per this theory as it is more of like a honeycomb earth, so that there's cavernous openings, possibly in mountains or even at the North and South Pole. Who knows? I've never been there. I'm just telling you what I heard. But there was an admiral named Richard E. Byrd who was the first to fly over the poles, and he did so at 3,000 feet, which was quite a feat. And he kept a secret diary. And some people say it's nonsense, and some people believe it, but he explained that there was luscious terrain and such. So there's different possible entry points as to get into this hollow earth. They've been under Area 51, I've heard. They're in at the poles. A gentleman named Brooks Agnew, who is a scientist, said that he went to Mount Shasta, which is in Northern California, because he heard that there were all sorts of folklore going on about that, and that you could get inside of hollow earth. So another statistic that I heard from these conspiracy theorists was that inside of the earth is actually twice as much water as you see on the outside of the earth. And where there's water, there's got to be life, right? And Earth is a very prolific planet, so if there's, space and there's water, there is possibly going to be life there. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I'm not really sure about different civilizations living down there. Some have said that there's break-off civilizations that live under there. Some have said that there's ancient civilizations that have lived there. But where they're picturing it is probably just at the end of the Earth's crust. So I heard that we've only been able to dig about 8 miles deep into Earth's crust. I think that was by the Soviets. But Earth's crust itself is somewhere between 900 and 1,000 miles deep, and aside from that, there's supposed to be like a layer of molten, and then there's the mantle. So apparently where all these little oceans and civilizations are existing is probably within the mantle where the water is, the crust in the mantle where the stones and rocks have created oceans and rivers and such.
Inside.
Kind of like a honeycomb, I suppose, like little entrances all over the place.
It must be immense. When you think about it, you don't normally think about what's on the other side. You think out in space. You don't normally think in the middle of the planet and what's going on, but there's a lot of space there.
Well, scientists have long held the belief that the Earth's layers are just very defined and, they're not cavernous. There's no space in them for anything, It's just very, very dense, and there's maybe there's like a dense, hot center to it. And I believe the gentleman...
What about lava is supposed to be...
The gentleman, Brooks Agnew, said that the center is actually like an iron crystal. And I think the word he used was anatrophic, meaning that it had grain to it, as in it would have different physical properties, cutting it one way as opposed to another. So supposedly that's in the center. And I don't know, maybe that liquid molten level is keeping everybody warm under there.
The core is cooling. That's what we were told, right? That it's cooling the Earth's crust, and then it cools, and it's at one point it'll cool off completely.
I guess, yeah, there's like a hot center that's being cooled by the oceans.
Yeah, that's what comes up out of the volcanoes when they erupt. It's like
the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been to the poles, so I can't tell you for sure.
There's photos of this. I've seen photos of the hollow Earth.
Illustrations. They actually say that...
Not photos, illustrations.
Within the 60th and 70th parallel, there's very little sailing and actually nothing at the 80th parallel. So most of Google Earth above the 60th parallel is actually animated. It's not from actual footage. There was also something called the Data Denial Act in 2006. I might be saying it wrong, but it was pretty much an agreement with, it sounded like U.S. Air Force and some Europeans, like the European government, that the U.S. would set rules that this, like photographs and videos and imagery, would not be shared with anybody for fear that our enemies would have an advantage over us. So who knows?
Who knows? Interesting topic once again, the hollow Earth. Plan your next vacation. Underground, hollow Earth. Well, what are we doing when we come back? We're going to. I think
when we come back,
music?
We're going to. Yes, I have pulled up a very interesting video clip of a band from Sweden, and they're folk. They're folktronic band. From Sweden, and they made this gigantic music marble machine that combines different instruments. There's a bass, there's different types of drums that are mic'd with contact microphones, and the machine uses 2,000 marbles and it's run with a hand crank, and the marbles create the music as they fall, and it's really, really cool. And I think it took like a year and a half for them to build, and there's videos on YouTube of them building it.
So we're back. So that was a great guest we had tonight, Sonia Cairo from
Yes.
Keep Rockland Beautiful. We want to thank her for being our guest tonight. Great work on those subjects. What's it called? The Gobekli Tepe in Turkey, which is apparently ancient, as well as the other topic of the hollow earth. Very interesting. So we want you to all go out there and take a look at that stuff and see what you think about it.
Draw your own conclusions. Don't let us think for you.
That's right. We're just here to show you and for you to take it upon yourselves to dig deeper or not. Merely for your entertainment and educational purposes.
Only. Yeah.
Possible educational.
Hopefully entertaining.
And now for your entertainment, we've had a wonderful show. We have something we've pulled up out of our music archives, the musical vault. Peter Furlan, saxophonist, and Neil Alexander, keyboardist, together known as Jazz Electronique, and their synthesizers and saxophone and a little visual for you to take us out this week on Sunset on the Hudson.
We'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
very much. Peter Furlan. Thanks to Richard Quinn. Rockland World Radio.
It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com.